I'm Tara.
And I'm Ashley.
Each week, two movies battle it out in a bracket-style competition to find the ultimate romantic comedy.
This is The Trope Report.
Hey guys!
Welcome back, everyone!
We've got another great matchup this week. The Kissing Booth versus Set It Up.
The Kissing Booth is sitting at a 15 seed with a 15%.
Yikes.
Set It Up, another Netflix original, is a 2 seed with a whopping 92%.
92 was very surprising for me. I did not expect that.
Me neither. We try to avoid talking about the movies during the week, so I'm dying to talk about The Kissing Booth. It's just the craziest movie.
I haven't seen this since it first came out. It's something. It is something. So let's just get into it. Give me a synopsis.
Okay, so Elle, played by Joey King, and Lee have been best friends since the day they were born. They grew up together and have a list of rules that they follow in their friendship, one of which is that you never date your best friend's relative. Lee has an older brother, Flynn. He's the typical bad boy player. He gets into fights, makes out with random girls, rides a motorcycle. And as Elle and Lee enter their junior year, Flynn realizes that Elle has grown up and starts to have feelings for her. They kiss at the school kissing booth and begin a secret relationship that Lee would not approve of.
It was something. Just start it from the top. Let's get into it. Let's discuss this.
I mean, it's just the most absurd movie.
I don't know how they thought to make this movie. It's insane.
Yeah.
It sucks you in.
The first minute is them being born at the same hospital at the same time.
Yes.
And their mothers are best friends already.
Yeah, the exact minute. They're born the exact same minute.
Okay, do we start with likes or dislikes?
I don't know. It's like everything that I liked, I also disliked. It's all the same.
I have a long list for both, I'd say.
Okay, you start. Give me a like.
I actually do kind of think Lee and Elle's friendship was kind of cute.
Okay, at the beginning, I did think they're weird, they're annoying me.
Yes.
But it did grow on me.
It was cringy and weird, but also, I guess high school friendships are cringy and weird. So it grew on me as well.
They nailed that for sure. If they were going for cringy, they had me cringing the entire movie. But yet, I also was falling in love with them. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I had a mix of emotions with this movie. I came into it, like you said, born at the same time. The writing that they have in the movie, they're, rule number 9. It was so, I'm like, wait, what am I watching here?
Yeah.
How did this make the bracket? How is this a number? I guess it makes sense that it's a lower seed.
That is a 15%.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
But I couldn't help but get sucked into this journey with them.
Yeah.
And I became obsessed.
I mean, let's talk about the two leads, Joey King and Jacob Elordi.
Yeah.
Both, aren't they both, Emmy Award-winning actors?
I don't know. One thing I did notice, though, was this their first movie? Because
no, it wasn't.
Really?
She was Ramona Ambiza. She's been acting since she was a child.
Oh. See, I didn't.
And
I don't know if I've ever
She
seen
did The
that.
Act before this movie as well. The Act was where she was nominated for an Emmy.
What is that? I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's Munchausen by proxy that she has. It's based on a true story. It's a drama.
Okay. Well, it seemed like this was their first movie because I was like, I'm not loving the performances.
And I'm pretty sure Jake Elordi had already done Euphoria at this point.
Are you serious?
I think he had already done season 1 of Euphoria.
Can we please fact check this?
Maybe
because I was thinking there's no way that he has already done Euphoria because he is so good in Euphoria.
He's amazing
fantastic.
in it.
And in this, I was like, I'm feeling uncomfortable.
I think they were very close, so I'm not sure which one came out first.
Okay, but either way, when I see him in Euphoria, I'm
very different.
Cow. Yeah.
Very different movies.
Very different deal. Well, that's interesting. I literally have written down this must be their first movies. So that's my bad.
I mean, one of my likes was definitely Jacob Elordi is hot, tall,
obviously.
Plays a good, brooding older brother type.
Yes.
Joey King.
Sign me up.
Bang and Bod. I know you don't love her, But
she's not my favorite. I don't know why I get that vibe, but I get a vibe that I'm just not completely on board. But she does fantastic body.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
and they really put it on display in this movie, almost to an uncomfortable point, because they're supposed to be in high school.
Let's get into that.
Yes.
Multiple times, I was so cringe thinking if this happened to me, oh my god. Okay, first one, the skirt.
Yeah, so the first kind of big plot point in the movie is they're going to their junior year. Oh no, none of her skirts fit her anymore, so she's forced to wear this tiny little skirt to school.
How did her father let her go to school in this?
At first,
you can see her underwear.
At first, I was like, oh, it's not that bad from the front. She turns around, her whole butt cheeks are out.
Horrible.
And basically, she's walking to school. Everyone's looking at her, which that's dramatic. And this,
the guy, slaps her butt.
Slaps her ass.
I couldn't believe that.
That's insane. That's insane.
I forgot most of this movie because I literally have not seen this in forever. But my jaw hit the floor. Yeah. I was shocked.
So Lee, her best friend, tries to fight this guy. He's on the smaller side. Flynn jumps in, fights, and then they basically all get detention. And then she gets asked out by the guy that slaps her ass.
Yes.
The audacity.
Why? Okay. The audacity for him to ask, but also, why is she agreeing to this?
Yes. So she's like, I'll only go out with you if you wear the skirt. So he comes in, does a little dance in the skirt. That doesn't make up for the fact that he slapped her butt in front of everyone. It's the most ridiculous plot point. That she goes out with this, guy that both of her, best friends just got into a fight with as well.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
The next time that we have a clothing incident is at the party, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Horrible.
Well, so she agrees to go out with the guy, and Flynn, you can tell he's just fuming. He's so mad about it. The guy stands her up, and she finds out later that Flynn told all the guys in school not to mess with her, not to go after her.
He's been telling every guy not to date her.
He's been telling everyone not to date her. What a freak. And acting as if it's that's just because it's my little sister, not...
Yeah, crazy.
He's clearly so in love with her.
It's obvious.
It's so obvious to everyone except for all the main characters, I guess. And then they propose the kissing booth for their dance team, which...
Oh my
That is not the kind of dancing that, constitutes a dance team. It's Dance Dance Revolution that they do.
Yeah. Okay. That was I have written down as a like. I did like how their thing was the Dance Dance Revolution. Yeah, I love a good dance.
Yeah.
I thought, do me and Ash need to find a place where we could do Dance Dance? I thought this looks fun.
It did look pretty fun.
That was a like for me.
Yeah. So they decided to do a kissing booth for their dance team fundraiser. And they tell everyone that Flynn is going to be there.
Yeah. Clever. Yeah. Because it could be Lee, or it could be... Wait, what's his name again?
What?
What's the older brother's name?
Oh, Noah. Noah Flynn. And so they try to get the OMG girls, which this is also another ridiculous.
Ridiculous. They're nauseating.
They're the popular girls at school go by the OMG girls. I assume it has something to do with their name? Or is it just that they say OMG a lot?
I guess they
Did
say
you
OMG.
have this at your school?
An OMG girl?
Some sort of, Mean Girls had the plastics or whatever they called them. Did you have?
I don't know.
I don't think my school had this.
I don't think, this level of ridiculousness.
Yeah.
No.
Is this? So. I think this only exists in movies.
It's in the movies.
Yeah.
It's a fun little throw-in.
Yeah. So then the Flynn brothers throw a party at their house, and Noah's like, you can't come.
Which, okay, ridiculous, again. But at the party, he's making out with that girl, which that girl seemed so cool. Okay?
Yeah, she did seem pretty cool.
I know she was mean, but she had one of my favorite lines in the movie, which is when Elle goes up to her to try and convince Noah to be in the kissing booth.
Yeah.
What does she, flick her in the forehead or
she
hit her?
She bops her on the head.
In the head. And she says, easy bake oven, it's downstairs, bitch. Or something easy bake oven is downstairs, bitch. Yeah. I love that line. I loved her. I thought she was so cool, even though, I'm sorry. I know we're not supposed to like her.
Yeah.
But then, one of the cringiest lines is, Elle goes back to the OMG girls and says, basically, Noah, Flynn, or whatever, does anything I say.
Anything I say.
Oh my god!
Completely not what just happened.
She's constantly cringe. And then she decides to get blackout drunk.
Yeah. She starts to take, which I did like when they were like, tastes like green, tastes like blue, because that's what me and my friends do. Like they're giving shots of like these little like brightly colored liquids, and I'm like, my friends want to do that too.
Horrific.
Relatable. I'll drink anything that tastes like blue.
Ugh, horrible, disgusting.
Yeah, so she decides to get blackout drunk. She's playing video games. Like, they try really hard to make sure we know that she's, like, not like other girls.
Yeah.
You know?
She's special. She
plays video games. She eats hamburgers while doing sit-ups. She runs home. Yeah, and so she gets blackout drunk. She starts to take her clothes off on top of the table.
Oh my god. I actually couldn't watch this.
She's like, oh my gosh, it's so hot out here, and starts to take her dress off.
Yes, you get, when you drink, you get a little overheated. I've never been to the point where I'm like, I need to start taking off all my clothing. Outrageous.
And Lee, her supposed best friend, is just watching her like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Like, what? He doesn't do a single thing.
Doesn't do a thing.
If one of my friends let me do this, I'd be furious.
Yes, 100%. So who comes and swoops in? Noah comes and swoops in.
Puts her over his shoulder, takes her to bed. That was nice. That was a like.
Okay, fine, a like. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Well, really anything with him.
It was still bad acting.
Yeah, it was.
Or maybe it was the writers. Maybe we blame the writers. Clearly, these two actors do have an accredited history.
Yeah.
But everything that they said was cringe. But yeah, so he gives her. Oh, when does he give her? Oh, okay. I see where we are. So she wakes up in his bed in his shirt. Thinks they like slept together or something.
Which a classic. Okay, the whole thing of she wakes up, she's confused. She thinks they might have slept together or something. I don't know. He walks in, of course, in a towel, no shirt. And then it's so uncomfortable between the two of them, and she's acting like an idiot. He's like, "Can I have my shirt back?" She goes to take off her shirt. Yeah. Oh my god. Then, of course, they reach for her shorts together. Classic.
Yeah.
They fall on top of each other.
Yeah.
It was a classic trope.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Them basically, like, falling unclothed together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess the next big thing is the kissing booth, right?
Yes. Yep.
So...
Which I find hilarious that everyone at this school thinks this is the best thing that's ever happened to their high school.
They're full of horny teenagers looking for an excuse to kiss.
Yeah.
Which might be accurate. Okay. I don't know. My school never had a kissing booth.
No. I don't know if this would be allowed. Is this even allowed?
Yeah, it does seem risky for a high school to do.
Yeah, I would think so.
But basically, the OMG girls trick Elle, who has never been kissed before, into working the booth.
Well, is this before or after Lee? I felt so bad for Lee.
That was tragic.
Yes. When he goes up and no one wants, because they wanted Noah, but then that sweet
That
girl,
was really cute. That was like...
I was living for that.
That was like the most romantic point
I have that written down.
Yeah.
They are bringing the romance, this couple.
That couple is bringing the romance.
No other romance so far. I've just been cringing.
No one wants to kiss him. This girl steps up. She's such a cutie. They kiss. He takes off his blindfold.
They're instantly in love.
Yeah. And they stay together the rest of the movie.
Loved it. And I think the second one, is there a third kissing booth?
Yeah, there is. I don't remember what happens in the third one. I'm sure I've seen it.
I don't know if I've seen it.
Yeah, but I think they stay together like throughout all three movies. Yeah. I mean,
they're solid.
A part of me before her did kind of want her to end up with Lee, though. Just because they're best friends. They grew up together, so comfortable together.
Yes, but then you see Noah.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
I get
obviously it has to be him, though.
Yeah. But yeah, so the OMG girls trick her into working the booth just as Noah's turn is up.
Yes, and Noah comes up. And this is the most outrageous scene. I loved it.
Yep, it's so over the top.
Okay, they have the camera doing a 360 spin.
Yeah.
Lights are literally blowing up.
Fireworks, basically. I'm pretty sure they're on a spin table as well.
Yes, everything's spinning. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so outrageous. I loved it. She takes the blindfold off. She looks a mess. I'm sorry. She should have put a brush in her hair. It was ridiculous.
Well, she was wearing a blindfold.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
He looked fantastic, and that was it. Now, was this the scene with the rain? No.
So she tells Lee, and he's like, I guess it was just a kissing booth, but clearly he's still mad that they kissed.
Which I'm just like, oh, brother. Because you know this is going to be an issue.
And so she decides to walk home so that he can continue hanging out with his new little girl. Flynn is riding by on his motorcycle, stops, picks her up, starts pouring rain. They have to stop.
Get outrageous. So good.
Immediately starts pouring rain. They stop at a gazebo, and she's like, all I wanted. Also, can we talk about the internal monologue? How have we not brought this up? That was the cringiest part of the movie.
What was her internal monologue?
She's narrating the entire movie.
How did I not even notice that?
How did you not notice this?
I don't know.
She's like, Noah and I are at the gazebo now, and all I want to do is kiss him, even though I know I shouldn't. How did you miss this?
I don't know.
And their height difference is insane.
Oh,
He's like 1.5 feet taller than her, so she like drags his face down to her, and they make out.
Yeah. And we didn't even bring up, they were dating in real life.
Yes, that was a huge pleasure. You know I love when that happens.
But when the movie was released, they were broken up.
Oh.
Yeah, so they had to film the second and third movie after
awkward.
being broken up. Which I did a little dive over on his life. I didn't know, so right after he was with her, did he move on to Zendaya, I believe? And then I wrote this down.
I mean, he's dated so many people in Hollywood.
Hold on. Zendaya, and then went to Kaia Gerber.
Yeah.
Okay, so he moved from Zendaya to Kaia Gerber, and I thought they were still together. They broke up.
No, Kaia Gerber's dating Elvis guy now, right?
Oh, yes.
I don't know who Jacob Elordi's dating
now. Oh my God, I'm so out of it. No, he then moved on to what's in Full House.
He's dating someone now, right?
Aunt Becky in Full House, the daughter.
Oh, he's dating Olivia Jade now? Interesting.
I did find that interesting.
That is kind of interesting.
Anyways,
yeah, they're in the gazebo.
They get caught.
Why is he
always wandering around?
What would you, like a landscaper?
A landscaper at midnight.
At midnight in the pouring rain?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, another one of your girls that you bring
so
here.
bad. Horrific.
She's furious, storms off, and basically breaks things off with him. And then they go to another party on the beach, which, honestly, I wish I went to private school because this looks so fun. They're all uber rich. They're all partying all the time.
Yeah.
Beautiful school. Like, where was this growing up?
I know.
So yeah, they go to a party on the beach. He's watching her as she's playing drinking games. And then some creepy guy comes up and hits on her.
Oh, she's getting all these guys now.
Yeah.
Butt slap. Now this guy.
Yeah, because now she has, like, boobs and a butt, I guess. Ridiculous. And now she's, like, everyone's obsessed with her. So this guy's, like, kind of aggressively hitting on her. Jacob Elordi runs and body slams him.
Wait, I just thought of something. Did we miss when she goes into the men's locker room? Because this was so bad.
Yes.
I couldn't watch this.
I was like, what is she doing?
Yeah. It was so bad. She goes in and she's half naked, stripping. Isn't she like
she gets paint on her? She goes into the men's locker room on accident, and Noah's like, "You gotta get out of here now." She's like, "You can't tell me what to do," and continues to take her shirt off, swings it around, this little dance for all the boys in the locker room, and then leaves. Yeah, it was pretty. Like, the secondhand embarrassment that I was getting from that.
But she didn't seem to have any.
She was really proud of it.
Oh,
maybe that's why she's getting all the boys at the beach party now.
Probably.
Yeah, she's put her name out there. She's on the map now for sure after that.
100%.
But yeah, so Jacob Elordi body slams this guy on the beach, and she storms off like, "You can't control my life." He goes after her. Whatever. They start dating. This apparently is only her second kiss, and they
go to the
Hollywood sign, and she loses her virginity in
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
The night there.
Yeah.
hello, coyotes everywhere. What is she doing?
She loses her virginity under the Hollywood sign. Yeah. The most ridiculous plot point ever.
Horrible.
And they decide to start having, like, a secret relationship.
Which, then, I'm like, that's, I think, when I started to get on board. Because I'm like, okay, this is now a fun, flirty little thing.
I mean, the tropes are everywhere. It's the best friend's brother. Bad boy and good girl, fight for the girl's honor, enemies to lovers, kind of, because they're, like, battling in the first half, secret relationship, forbidden love. Like,
the whole thing is a trope.
Yeah, they add tropes everywhere. Like, I was getting whiplash trying to keep up with it. So, yeah, they start... once they start dating, it's all montage. They're getting ice cream together. They're going to movies. They're hiding from Lee. Oh, someone's walking by. Let me put my motorcycle helmet on her so they can't see who it is.
I'm living for it.
It was lovely. Yeah, I love the montage. Fantastic. But it blows up because...
naturally.
I mean, this is the, like, hardest turn you could possibly take in a movie. You go from this montage... He's fixing up his bike and a wrench falls on her head and he's bandaging it up.
So let me ask you, why would Lee assume that Noah beat her? Why would Lee jump to that conclusion?
It's the hardest, like, ever. Lee comes in as he's bandaging up her forehead. She has a little gash and he's like, did you do this to her?
Like, what? About your own brother?
Yes.
I found that crazy. That's absurd.
And then basically he finds out that they're, like, having a relationship, which also turns into the most intense fight ever.
Yeah, because she goes back in the house and they start making out. I'm like, really?
And then he runs out. She tells Noah, stay up here, I'll handle it.
Oh my
she runs after Lee. They're fighting in the yard.
I can't.
Noah comes down. They start to wrestle, Lee and Noah, which huge difference between the two of them. Yeah. Noah's holding him down. And, oh my gosh, the F-bomb gets dropped.
Really?
Lee goes...
I thought this was like a PG movie.
Be honest, are you fucking her?
How did I not catch that?
This was the most insane fight. They really brought out their Emmys for this.
Up until then, the whole movie is just like
lighthearted.
Yeah, it's like nonsense
super chill,
happening.
And now it's like it's gone to domestic abuse, wrestling. Like,
yes,
it is the hardest.
It has variety. I'll give it that.
Yeah, so that was ridiculous. She basically says we can't see each other anymore because Lee doesn't approve. And then it turns into basically another montage of her trying to apologize to Lee.
Oh yeah, the ice cream cone.
Yeah.
Then they end up at the Dance Dance Revolution, where everyone can come together at Dance Dance Revolution.
Everything can be solved by Dance Dance Revolution in this movie.
And they're BFFs again.
Lee forgives her, but is still like, you can't date my brother.
Yeah, he goes, come to prom with me and the girl. Who also, can I just say, Lee hasn't been paying attention to her.
No.
So,
he's been off in his own, like...
Which, fair enough. Yeah. But also, then the audacity to come back and be so mad at her when you've basically neglected her for so long.
Yeah.
How else do you think she had all that time to go sleep around with Noah? Because Lee wasn't there. So, sorry, Lee. I don't like you.
You've gotten on her bad side now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they decide to have, like, a joint birthday party, which I guess they do every year. Which I had forgotten until this point that they were born on the same day. It's always a costume party, even though it's not Halloween, right?
Yeah, I don't know what time of year it is. So, Batman and freaking Catwoman.
Yeah.
Her hair is teased so fucking high.
I kind of liked it.
I don't know.
I kind of liked her outfit.
I don't know.
Yeah, she's wearing like
with the outfit,
all black with like a black headband, teased hair. And they like make wishes. She's like, I don't have a wish this year. So dramatic.
Like obviously you do. Come on.
And then she like pulls Lee to the side and is like, I would never make you choose between love and friendship. Basically gives him a whole speech and he's like, you're right.
He finally gets put in his place.
Yeah. And he's like, you're right. You can date Noah again. But he's off to Harvard.
Wait. And the most outrageous scene ever. The switcheroo in the car. It is so cringe. She's in the car professing her love, right? Like, I just need to see him.
She thinks Lee is coming with her to the airport because Noah's off to Harvard, which how did he get into Harvard?
That I'm also questioning because he wasn't in school. Doesn't he have absences and his grades are flunky or something like that?
He gets into a fight every month.
Yeah, always in detention.
Bad behavior.
There's no way he'd be going to Harvard.
But anyways, they think he's on his way to Harvard, so she's going to rush to the airport, and she's telling supposedly Lee, who's in a Batman costume, about her feelings.
Then it turns out that it's Noah. He takes off the mask.
He's
and I was like, oh my god, this is so
and he says a line that's like, you don't have to tell me how you feel, because you just did.
God. I can't. I mean, you know what? It's the perfect ending for this movie, because the whole...
I do kind of hate when the big moment takes place in a car, because then it's like, there is no running into each other's arm. There's like, okay, let's pull over and like kiss and make up.
I will say, so with Say Anything, you had the airport ending. Airport endings are a common trope in this. And with the kissing booth, they end up in the airport saying goodbye. Yeah. And I was kind of like, wow, that's weird. Like, he goes away, he doesn't look back. Yeah, and then she was like, we just had the summer together or something. And I was like, really?
I mean, in Kissing Booth 2, you see that was not the case.
I know. But I was kind of like, interesting.
Yeah, it was a weird ending.
Yeah.
Which was like, will it work out? We'll never know.
And she gets on a freaking motorcycle and rides away. Yeah. If they couldn't top the rest of the movie, they just did with that. I mean, it was so insane.
Yeah. I mean, this is
it was entertaining.
Insane movie.
Insane, but entertaining. Again, like I said, roller coaster of emotions. I'm on board, I'm off board. I hate this, I love this. It throws you for a loop.
Honestly, also, like, at first I was like, the writers have never met a teenager, have they? Because there's lines like, when her butt gets slapped, she's like, do touch my lady bum. Which was like, who is this? Who wrote this? Have they ever met?
Do we know who wrote this? I mean,
I'm sure
was this a book before?
I have no idea.
I think it was a book first.
I feel like that's how Netflix gets most of their movies.
Based on a book. By Beth Reekles. Very interesting.
Okay. So, Kissing Booth was a roller coaster. Should we get into Set It Up?
I think so.
All right. Do you want to give us a synopsis?
Yes. All right. Harper, played by Zoe Deutsch, and Charlie, played by Glenn Powell, work in the same New York City corporate office building as assistants, but on different floors and for different bosses. Both their bosses, played by Lucy Liu and Taye Diggs, are extremely demanding, and therefore their work is their entire life. After running into each other late at night, way past working hours, Harper and Charlie decide to team up to set their bosses up together so they can finally get some freedom. Working together brings them closer. Their dislike turns to a friendship, and their friendship to love. But their plan backfires when they find out Charlie's boss, Rick, is cheating on Harper's boss, Kristen. Do they take the high road and tell Kristen, or do they maintain their normal working hours and freedom and let them continue on? I have always liked this movie.
Yeah, me too.
I loved it the first time that I watched it, and now I just regularly throw it on in the background, or if I need something light. I love this movie. It is so fun. I will say, was surprised with the second seed. 90-something%
I will say,
on Rotten Tomatoes.
It might have something to do with the cast. It's a fantastic cast.
Fantastic. Let's just go into that. Yeah. Lucy Liu.
Yeah, an icon.
Diggs. I love them. Them as bosses.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yep. You love them. You hate them. They're hilarious. Superpower. Yeah. 100%. Also, I love Zoe Deutsch and Glenn Powell. Yeah. I think they work well together.
I will say,
fantastic.
I feel like they do not do Glenn Powell any favors in this movie with that haircut.
Yeah.
It's like the dorkiest haircut, because you have him in Top Gun, right?
Well, I was going to say, when
him in Top Gun, where he's like...
You cannot compare him in Top Gun.
He looks like a different person.
He is so outrageously good looking in Top Gun that, like, seeing him in this, it's not as good, but you still can't help but love his character in this. Yeah. He's very cute.
I mean, I think they did a great job, like... The intro is the classic rom-com intro with, like, the upbeat song. It's a montage of different assistants running around doing errands.
Love that. And then you see everyone get off at 5 p.m. Yep. Go out for happy hour. So fun.
And it was such a satisfying intro. And they're still at work.
Yeah. She's stuck there with her boss, and he's stuck with his. And they both need to go get food for their boss. So that's how they meet in the lobby, is that... Harper has ordered food for Lucy Liu or Kristen, and she's waiting. She's trying to bargain with the guy, which was my first kind of what's going. How does she not know?
He only takes cash, I guess.
He only takes cash,
and she
only has credit cards. But she also is saying, "I order from you 3 times a week." So how
that is
do you
crazy.
not know?
Well, maybe that's why she was mad, because normally they take card, and this time they wouldn't.
I guess. So Glenn comes down in the lobby, and he's like, I'll take that food. I have plenty of cash. That's when they first meet, and of course, they despise each other.
Yeah.
Because they end up splitting the food, but Glenn's basically taking the food from her. But they do realize that they're both here in the middle of night, still working.
Yeah.
The next day, Zoe shows up at Glenn's office, or his floor, and she's kind of coming up with the idea that, we have no lives because both of our bosses don't have lives either. They don't have significant others. They don't have families.
He makes some comment, I guess, the night before that's like, they just need to get laid. And so that gives her the idea.
That's their plan now. They need to try and orchestrate them getting together. So one of the first things they do is the elevator scene.
Oh my gosh, this was funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I was actually laughing out loud with this movie.
I was too.
In the kissing booth, I was laughing because it was so cringe.
It was unintentionally funny in the kissing booth. This one, they scripted it to be funny.
It was actually a very well put together, funny comedy. Yes, agreed. So they go to the elevator scene, and they're trying to have them stuck in the elevator together so they can at least start chatting and get to know each other, the two bosses. But the elevator gets stuck. And there's another, FedEx
There's a delivery guy.
There's a delivery guy in the
elevator. So they had tried to call off the plan. Didn't work. The elevator actually gets stuck. And this delivery guy is unhinged. Yeah. He's so claustrophobic. He immediately starts stripping all his clothes off. He's like, I need a pee.
He opens up a box and pees into it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the elevator opens right then.
Yeah.
But, so that was basically their intro. So they're like, we're screwed. Because they now hate each other. They were in this horrific situation.
Yeah. Because they had 2 different approaches to the situation. That's when you kind of start to see the 2 different personalities of the bosses. Because Lucy Liu's character is like, let's think about this logically. Let's slow down. And Taye Diggs is just like, I'm going to kill this guy.
I thought Taye Diggs was so funny in this movie. Because he was so outrageous. His lines were so good. Like, obviously, if he was my boss, I would...
Yeah, hate him.
I would have to quit. But his lines are so good.
Yeah.
So, I think the next thing was Yankee Stadium, right?
That's their next plan, is to get them on a kiss cam. Yeah. Which, I mean, you can't beat a good kiss cam scene.
Can't.
But this is where you start to... I mean, I think this movie did a great job of immediately showing us who Charlie and Harper, Zoe Deutsch and Glenn Powell's characters are. Like, you immediately know that she's, like, this quirky girl.
Yes.
And that he's kind of the typical, like, finance bro almost, always wearing a suit. Just wants
he shows up to a Yankee games in a suit.
He just wants to brag about his hot model girlfriend. And she's, like, crying over old people playing sports.
That was a like for me, okay? I love watching sports video. Okay, I don't like sports, but I love watching, like, people doing amazing thing in sports or, like, military coming home videos or any of those things. I'm crying instantly. But,
I mean,
so I'm with her on this.
Zoe Deutsch is just, like, so charming in this, I think. Totally. She's just, like, you immediately know she's genuinely loves sports. Like, she lives for this, and she just wants to be a sports writer, and that's why she has this, like, horrible job working for Lucy Liu as her assistant.
Her main idea is that she wants to have an article about geriatric Olympics. It's these older people that maybe played sports, and they just want to, like, compete. It's so sweet. Yes.
And then during the baseball scene, you get to see more of their personality. She shows up in her, like, is it a Yankees game? She shows up in her Yankees hat and shirt, and she's like, I swear.
She knows everyone in the crowd.
Yeah, she's like, I did that thing where I get here super early and then lose track of time dicking around. He's like, that's not a thing.
I over-dicked around.
Yeah.
Totally relate to that.
I totally relate to that as well.
Times.
Yeah, because I'm neurotic and get ready so early. But then
I'm watching TV, and I'm doing this and that, and now I'm late. Yes, completely. So they basically try and get them on the kiss cam, because of course she knows someone that works at the stadium. Again, so sweet, so fun. And the bosses end up sitting together, but they won't kiss on the kiss cam. They go back 3 or 4 times, and finally they kiss. And their reaction of them freaking out is so fun. And then they realize when they leave the game, they have no messages. They're done. They can go home. They can relax. They finally have a life.
They finally have a life.
They both. So now she's gonna start going on a dating app.
Also, that had one of the moments where I laughed the hardest at.
What?
Because so the bosses go on the kiss cam, they don't kiss, and so they pan to another couple, and it's a gay couple, and he starts booing because he moves away from them. Everyone looks back furious. He's like, no, I'm not booing because I'm gay. For other reasons. Yes.
I tell you, laughing out loud at this movie. 100%. So they now decide, we have lives now, right? Mm-hmm. They show up to work early still. The bosses are not there. Yeah. They can do whatever they want. It's freedom for them. Mm-hmm. She decides that she goes on a dating app, right? Mm-hmm. And now because they're working together and things are working out, now they're kind of friends. Yeah. Right? They're hanging out and stuff like that in the office, helping each other out.
Continuing, kind of feeding information to the bosses. Mm-hmm. So they continue to be in a relationship.
Yeah, they're sending flowers, saying that it's from the one boss. Mm-hmm. And so... love that of them working together. Yeah. She decides to start dating. He gets to spend more time with his current girlfriend, which
Sue's. That was horrific. A guilt of mine. That was a dislike. She was a horrible actress.
Well, she's a supermodel.
Yeah, but it was just like every line from her was just like, I think are you reading this from a teleprompter?
I think in a way, she was almost casted well because you're not meant to like her. You want him and Harper. Yeah. She is supposed to be a model. She is a model in real life. I don't think she's an actress in real life. Yeah. So it was clearly not. I was kind of like, no one likes you, like whatever. Yeah. So, but he's infatuated with her because he thinks like, oh, she's incredible looking, so I have to be with her.
Yeah, he wants like bragging rights, basically.
We didn't even get onto the subject of his roommate.
Yes, I don't know if this goes on likes or dislikes because
I agree.
Pete Davidson is playing a gay roommate. It is the it's the least believable thing ever. Yes, but that kind of makes it funny. Yeah, just because he is the straightest man in the world.
Yeah, when he came on screen, I forgot that he was the roommate, and I forgot that he was gay.
Yeah, I had forgotten he was in this movie. Every time I forget.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was laughing out loud with some of these things that. Okay. What's your thoughts on Pete Davidson? Because I don't think anything of him. I don't pay attention. Everyone seems to love him.
I used to like him like early SNL days. I was like, oh, who is this guy? Yeah. But now I'm indifferent.
Yeah,
now I'm also indifferent.
I'm just like, everyone's talking about him. Yeah. And then I'm just like, I get turned off with people if everyone's talking about him. So, but I have to admit, unbelievable in the movie, but he was quite hilarious. Yeah. I liked him. And I liked him and Harper's relationship. When they became friends.
They instantly become friends.
Yeah. So, I liked that. What happens next?
Oh, she starts dating. She goes on a mini golf date with this guy. They start a relationship. Mm-hmm. This is like her first relationship ever. She's so excited about it. Yeah. They sleep together.
They sleep together, but how funny is her text messages back are crazy. She's texting ha 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 ha, like, and it's 15 lines where like she doesn't know what she's doing. It's so cute.
Glenn Powell is coaching her through it.
And basically, after they sleep together, he just doesn't message her back.
Yeah, and she has an engagement party.
You can do that to her.
She has an engagement party for. Is it her best friend or her sister?
I think it's her best friend and her roommate. Which I thought. They were so cute, the two of them, because they get engaged at the beginning of the movie.
Why did he propose, like, in her room?
I thought that was weird.
That was bizarre.
I think they just wanted they wanted the audience to see
that they were engaged. And Zoe Deutch's reaction to it.
Yeah. But it was... I did think, like, why is this happening here?
Yeah. So she loses her date for the engagement party and decides to take Charlie instead. So that's their first kind of cute moment where he sees her in a dress for the first time.
And they're dancing, having a good time. They're loose.
They're matching each other's energy.
And he goes with her and leaves his girlfriend. Yeah. Which was fantastic. Because she was flirting with guys the whole pool party. Yeah. So they deserve each other. Anyway, they're at their engagement party. They're having a great time. And then a classic trope. A slow song comes on. Yeah. After they're dancing, fun, all of a sudden slow song, and they can't help but they have to slow dance together.
Yeah, they slow dance together. It's so cute.
And they do. Isn't one of these things is that, her roommate has the line, which then we see throughout the rest of the movie, of you like because
and you love despite
yes. And then they go back and forth and they say that to each other of like what they like. Yeah. Very cute. But what's even cuter is that all of a sudden she says she has to go get pizza, right?
Mm-hmm.
So relatable. Didn't relate to anything more than that.
She's so drunk at this point. Yeah.
And they have to go get pizza. Mm-hmm. So she goes and says goodbye to her
this
her
is cute.
Best friend. And she's like, but pizza's not here. We have to go. I'm so sorry. I love you. And the friend's like, okay, yeah, go off. Yeah. Like, enjoy the two of them.
Yeah.
And
enjoy
pizza
yourself.
Arrives
like
right
a second later.
She knows pizza was coming. She just wanted her friend to go off and have a fun night with him. So cute. Then, my favorite scene in the movie, they climb up. Well, Pete Davidson has a guy over, so they can't go through the front door.
Yeah, they decide
to
go
have
through
to climb up the fire
window.
escape, go through the window, and they're sitting on his bedroom floor eating pizza, and they're just staring at each other. They're so cute. You can see they're totally in love, but they can't say anything.
They're totally into each other, but she knows he's still dating Sue, so she's like, I should go. I should leave.
And she leaves, but you're just like, oh, that moment. I loved it.
It's so sweet.
I loved it. What's next?
And then the bosses get engaged.
Oh, yes.
Which, this is a crazy turn as well. They get engaged. They start to have, like, an engagement party. Lucy Liu's character wants to get married really... the other boss wants to get married really fast to beat his ex-wife. So, Charlie, played by... What's his name?
Glen Powell.
Yeah, so Glen Powell's character finds out that Taye Diggs is still sleeping with his ex-wife.
Yes.
And is cheating on Lucy Liu.
Yeah, and he wants to just play it off like...
Because he's going to get a promotion.
Yeah.
So he wants to just not say
them
anything.
Get married.
Yeah, let them get married. That was a huge dislike, because that's a huge...
That was a really big dislike, and I was like, oh no, Glenn, you're killing me, because I love you so much. I mean,
but that's such a bad decision.
I still love him, but I'm struggling with that, for sure. So, a little bit later, Harper finds out. He doesn't tell Harper about this.
Yeah.
And she's like, you knew this.
Yeah.
And you didn't tell me, and you didn't try to put a stop to this. That's a horrible character trait.
Yeah.
And breaks my heart. They have a big fight, and they're not speaking. So she goes and she tells Lucy Liu what the deal is and how they need to call it off. And she explains everything. Of what they've done. Setting them all up.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah. And Lucy Liu fires her.
Yeah.
But now it's for the best because she can finally, which I also love, they go and they get chips from that Mexican place all the time, and they don't just chips and water because they don't want to pay for anything.
Yeah.
The waiter hates them. So she goes back to this place and she said, I'm finally going to write my article. Don't let me leave until I write the article.
As they're getting ready to fly off to their wedding, Glen Powell kind of comes to a realization that what he did was wrong, and he drives off.
Because he goes to the dinner with Suze, and she's acting like a bitch, and he's like, no, I could have this fantastic girl.
Yeah.
You're horrible. I hate this lifestyle. This isn't for me. What am I doing here? And he runs to the airport.
Wait, but also... He asks, or she says, this is the best meal I've ever had in my life. And he's like, my best meal was pizza
on my bedroom floor. Yes.
Yeah. So sweet.
See, and then just with that, he's redeemed in my eyes.
Yeah, so he gets ready to rush off to the airport, realizes he's way too early, and then he does the over-dicking around thing that she had mentioned. And is running late, so he's running to the airport, and he stops, and he's yelling up at Lucy Liu, like, don't marry this guy. You're too good for him. He's an asshole.
Again,
all this stuff.
I was gonna say, airport scene again.
Yep, another airport scene.
All these romantic comedies love to do an airport. It's very dramatic.
Yes.
Love it. So basically, he says all this to Lucy Liu and Taye, and of course, Taye's like, no way. But then he calls Lucy Liu his wife's name, and she's like, why?
Yeah.
So thank goodness she storms away, and then Harper, the next day, we see her coming back to get her stuff, right? And Lucy Liu finally says, like, I need you back. I can't do this without you.
Yeah.
Which is just so sweet. And well, they have a heart-to-heart. Because
but
she's basically like, you actually are fantastic. Because, of course, Harper thought that she was horrible and hated her the whole time.
Yeah.
But she's like, no, you are like the hardest worker here, gonna do amazing things.
But Harper's like, I'll come back, but not as an assistant. I'll help you find an assistant, but I want to come back as a writer. And Kirsten, Lucy Liu's character, is like, well, do you have anything to show me, and she had finally finished her article, so she was able to show her the article that she'd worked so hard on.
I loved it for both of them.
Yeah.
It was just such a good scene. So she goes downstairs and...
Well, Lucy Liu sends her downstairs.
Yes, which I love that touch.
Yeah.
Because now that's her way of, like, giving back and giving them some love. So she goes downstairs and sees Glen Powell standing outside waiting for her. And it's just such a romantic scene. And they basically, again, say the I like because I love despite thing to each other.
They start to list all the things they don't like about each other because they love each other despite all those things. It was very sweet.
They love each other so much. And then, of course, kiss, camera pulls out. They're over, I don't know, Bryant Park something.
Yeah.
Just incredible. Loved it. Great movie. Makes you feel good. Yeah. Fantastic.
Feel good movie. I mean, I will say, on my dislikes list, it is very much not enough spice for me.
Okay, I can see that because
I wish they had kissed during the pizza scene.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. If they slipped that in there, I think then it would have been.
It would have been a little because they only kissed at the very end.
Yes,
I would have liked to see.
Though I do love a little pull away camera scene because it's just so dramatic. You don't get to see it as much. Yeah. So I see that. I'll give that to you.
Okay, so now do we want to get into rating them?
I think so. I have my predetermined list, what I think. Okay. But let's see if we agree.
All right, what do you want to start with?
I'll start with the kissing booth. Give me your number.
Well, for what category?
Let's start with...
What category do we want to start with?
What do we want to start with? Give me your trope number.
Okay, so this might be crazy of me.
Oh my god.
But I think the kissing booth might be a 10 for tropes. Because it is just an explosion of tropes.
Well, okay. I went in with an 8. I don't know. But I can see where you're coming from.
There's the montage. There's a grand gesture, forbidden love, secret relationship, 2 people forced to kiss, and sparks fly, enemies to lovers, best friend's brother, bad boy and good girl. Like, there's so many. The girl has the glow up. It's like the Summer I Turned Pretty type of thing.
True.
There's literally so many tropes that I think it has to be a 10. I can't think of another movie that goes so hard on the tropes.
You know what? I'll bump my 8 up. I'll bump it up. Because I had basically all those written down. Yeah. I'm gonna give it to you.
10?
10. I think it's a 10.
Okay.
It's too outrageous not to give it a 10.
It's so outrageous, yeah.
Okay.
It'll suffer another.
What's your quality? Because I think this might be the exact opposite.
I mean, quality is like a... Well, the thing is, the 2 main actors are great actors, just maybe not in this movie.
We didn't even touch on the subject of Molly Ringwald.
Oh yes, Molly Ringwald is
She's
the mom.
Which I'm like, what are you doing in this movie? Yeah.
That was a crazy appearance. Yeah, I mean, do we just go middle of the road 5
That's
for quality?
What I have written down.
Yeah.
I said, it's pretty low quality. The acting was not
But it does have a good cast.
Good, yeah. But there's some redeeming things, but yeah. I also felt like, I don't know, like I said before, Elle and Noah, even though this wasn't their first movie, it felt like their first movie to them. Maybe it was just
the script,
the whole aesthetic of the
direction.
Movie. I also felt like Elle looked like she was gonna cry the whole time or something. Okay. It just was like weird. Yeah. So 5. Yeah. I think
But it is like a higher budget, so I wouldn't go below 5. But yeah.
No, I guess not.
5 I'm fine with. Lightheartedness. It's pretty lighthearted until the very end.
I put this at a 7 because you do have that full swing blow up outrageous fight.
Yeah, and that brings it down.
Her mom did die at the beginning.
Yeah, you kind of forget about it, though.
Yeah, they completely forget about that, toss that out the window. Betrayal of the best friend, though, the big blow up fight, I mean...
Well, that's what brings it down to a 7, I think.
Yeah, I think that you can't put it at a 10. If they didn't have that big of a fight...
It would have been higher, yeah.
It would have been so much higher because the whole thing is
The whole thing is just ridiculous, so funny.
So I'm going to have to say a 7 for that. Yeah. Are you in agreement?
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Comedy? Okay, I had this at a 6 because for most of it, I was in pain laughing, uncomfortable
Yeah, that's the thing. Do we include... like the fact that it does make you laugh unintentionally? Like,
I don't know.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they wrote it that way.
True.
Like,
That's true.
they know that the cringe makes people laugh.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this was a phenomenon. People freaking watched this like crazy. So they obviously knew slightly what they were doing.
Yeah.
That's why I gave it a 6.
I did find the OMG girls funny.
You found them funny?
Yes, the way that they're just like, I love this hoe. Like, they're so fake.
They did say when they finally became friends with her, you know, air quote friends, they're like, you can call us bitches now. Or
yes,
something.
that was funny.
Yeah, okay, so there was a couple of things that made me chuckle, but most of it was laughing uncomfortably, which is why I put it at a 6.
So, we want to give it a 6.
What do you think?
Yeah, if I was 6.5, maybe. Just because I was laughing during it. We can go 6. We can go 6.
I think I have to stick with 6 because compared to other comedies, I mean, I know this is romantic comedy, but this is the comedy category.
Yeah.
I can't go higher than a 6.
Okay, we'll stick with a 6.
Okay. Romance, the big one.
I mean, there are a lot of like romantic tropes.
Okay, I put this as an 8, and I don't know why I put it so high.
I mean, it's a very passionate movie.
And you know why? Because I think I wrote, like, you know, I'm writing my notes as I'm watching the movie, and I think they somehow can sweep you into this.
That montage.
Yeah, they somehow know.
And the fact that they were dating in real life.
Yes.
Like, it's like you can feel the chemistry.
But see, look,
they do have great chemistry.
Just a couple days, what has it been, 2 days later, and I'm like, this shouldn't be an 8. Like, you walk away to, this movie's crazy.
Yeah.
I think I might have to say between a 7 and 8.
So do you want to do a 7?
Do a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think an 8, I was in the moment. I was looking at Noah, I was looking at him, and I was just thinking, this is fantastic. Yeah. But really, no.
Some of the romance is forced. Like, their kiss in the rain, very forced. Yeah. Like, some of the moments were forced.
My God, do I knock it down even more?
No, I think leave it at 7.
Okay, 7. Okay. Let's go set it up. Yeah, tropes.
It's going to be lower than a 10 for sure. What do I have?
Lower than a 10 because I guess there wasn't just constant tropes. There was some originality.
There were some tropes.
Yeah. So I gave this an 8.5 because I said enemies to lovers type of thing.
Yeah, I have that.
And then I have...
Well, I put opposites attract because they're not really enemies, but they are very opposite personalities.
Yeah. I have a meet cute in the lobby.
Yep, meet cute.
I have the kiss, but I also brought in not just them. Like, the kiss cam was a cute little thing. I don't know if that's a trope. Maybe that's more romance category. Mm-hmm. But forced proximity type of thing. They're forced to work together.
I did have that as well.
Yeah, I have
Parent Trap. It's basically the plot of Parent Trap.
Yes, that's true.
I don't know if that's a trope, but it's definitely.
I mean, the ending, the airport ending is a semi-trope, and then also the make-out camera pull away is like a tropey type of ending.
Airport ending wasn't anyone...
I know.
It wasn't a proclamation of love.
Yeah, that's true. It was the opposite.
I mean... Do we go like a 7?
Oh wait, and don't forget about that the music is going fast and they're forced to slow dance to each other. Kind of forced proximity as well. So you're saying not 8.5.
I'm saying like a 7.
Because 7.5.
Okay, 7.5.
Yeah. Because I did there was a lot. There was more than the wedding date, I think. So
yeah.
Okay. Quality.
I mean, definitely higher than the kissing booth.
100%.
But I wouldn't put it too high.
Not too high, but think about it. It is a tip-top cast.
The cast is great, but it is kind of like a silly premise.
Yeah, kind of.
And it's not like...
Much better writing, much better plot, much better cast.
I'd almost put that at a 7, too.
I have this at an 8.5 again.
An 8.5? I mean, it's not like
quality cast.
But if you're outside of cast is what brings it up to like a 7. But like the direction, cinematography, all that's average, I'd say.
You think?
Yeah.
I like the dialogue. I like the plot. I like the cast.
Yeah.
8.5 for me. We can meet in the middle if we want to.
So like me in the middle at 8.
Fine. Yes.
Okay.
I'll settle. Lightheartedness.
Very lighthearted.
I thought it was so fun and lighthearted. The big scene of them arguing doesn't come until like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So most of the movie is just a fun little them trying to get their bosses together while they fall in love. It's mostly just such a fun movie.
Yeah, the only thing that brings it down is like the cheating. But even like you need some sort of twist in the plot. So I feel like that's the lightest twist you can add.
And it wasn't even the main characters who were cheating. It was just
So,
that he lied about the cheating.
I mean, that was a pretty big no in my book from him.
Yeah, I know.
But I still say it's very high, an 8.5.
I have 9, so I'm good with either.
Let's do 8.5.
Okay. Comedy. I thought this was funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
This was very funny. I'm gonna give this, I had 8.
Okay.
I thought this was a funny movie.
I'm good with 8.
I was laughing. Cass was funny. Had some good lines.
Zoe Deutch is so, like, just lovable and funny.
I love how everyone's so outrageous and so in their roles that it's funny.
Yeah. Everyone's very, like, caricatured, like, exaggerated versions.
I love it.
Romance.
So, I liked the romance.
I think it definitely needs to be lower than The Kissing Booth. I'm sorry. The Kissing Booth has so many, like, so much passion that I think it should be higher on romance than Set It Up.
Yeah, I mean, I really like their, like, the two of them, how they grow together, how they become friends.
They get to know each other,
Yeah, they really get to know each other. They're really friends and then fall in love with each other.
Yeah.
Which I really, really liked.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I see what you're saying.
Kiss.
If you're thinking of romance aspect, yes, it's not the most romantic.
Yeah.
I have to admit. It's just, I would say it's cute.
Yeah.
It's cute.
It's cute.
So, I guess I would give this, a 7? 6.5, 7 for romance?
Kissing Booth is a 7. This is definitely...
Is it really? I already forgot what I said. 6, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I think we put Kissing Booth too low on romance, maybe, because I feel like Set It Up is a 7.
But again, you walk away from it's almost too much craziness. That is it, like, true romance? Oh my god, I'm swept away in the romance of it. It's crazy.
Yeah, but you get a romance montage. You get so many, like, passionate kisses in the rain. Like, is it cheesy? Yes, but we account for that in the quality category.
That's true. I am willing to go to a 7.5.
So we move Kissing Booth up to 7.5, and then Set It Up 6.
Yeah, I would say, I guess it has more comedy aspects than romance.
And it's better quality.
Yeah.
All right, should I...
Tally up the scores.
Tally it
up.
What
do we got? Who's moving forward?
Okay, we've got Set It Up at 38, Kissing Booth at 35.5.
That's closer than I thought, though. I mean,
the tropiness really put Kissing Booth over the edge.
Category.
Yeah, and romance.
Yeah, but I'm glad. I'm happy with that. I love Set It Up. I've seen it so many more times. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Fantastic romantic comedy. Moving forward.
The next round is going to be Set It Up versus Say Anything.
I don't know how I feel about that.
And guys, you guys will just have to wait until next week to see which one wins.
Yeah. Don't forget to check out the bracket on our website. The link is in the description. We'll also be posting the final scores.
Send us your thoughts on this week's episode at thetropereport@gmail.com. Do you agree that Set It Up is the better romantic comedy?
Or do you think The Kissing Booth should have moved forward?
A bonus episode will be out next week, Say Anything versus Set It Up. Stay tuned for episode 3, which will be Always Be My Maybe versus Failure to Launch.
And we have a special guest. My brother will be joining us for the episode to defend one of his favorites, Failure to Launch.
That's it for now.
Until next time, keep it romantic.